What's up guys, Seth here, back with another video on Marvel Contest of Champions, and today I'm going to go over 5 things that you should be doing to maximize the rewards you're getting in MCOC that don't really take much time at all. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to go over the total amount of rewards that you could expect monthly and yearly, just based off of doing these small things. So the things we're going to go over are very, very little time spent in the game, but they're probably the best ways to use your time to get the most amount of rewards when you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours every day. So the first thing they're going to be talking about is actually something that takes you entirely off of MCOC, and that is the Twitch drops that Kabam has been doing recently. So Kabam has been sort of pushing streaming of MCOC as a way to sort of promote the game recently, and so they've been rewarding people who are watching Twitch MCOC streams with in-game based rewards based on how long you're watching the live streams for. So what they've been doing typically is having a max milestone of around 4 hours of watching a stream. The good thing is about streaming though is there's normally a lot of people that are streaming, so there's pretty much always someone online. And another thing is that you don't have to actually actively watch it. So you can pretty much leave it sitting there for 4 hours and just farm rewards. So what they've been doing is they've added in sort of a long-term chase, and that currently is a 7-star version of Thor Ragnarok. And how they've been doing that is through the observance. This is a currency specifically for viewing Twitch live streams. We don't really know much information about how many of these you're going to need to get 7-star Thor Ragnarok. So if you haven't been watching the Twitch live streams and haven't been claiming those rewards, then definitely do so. There's loads of information out there on how to do this, but pretty much all you've got to do is just log on to your Kabam account and link a Twitch account. And then when you watch Twitch on that account, you'll see in your little drops inventory section that you can claim the rewards in there. Other things that they're typically adding is rank up gems. They've been putting in every now and then, just like 1 to 2 rank up gems or different ones depending on your current in-game progression. They've been adding empowered crystals pretty regularly in there as well. The other thing they've sort of been adding is the 7-star awakening gem shards. So for people that need awakening gems, that's a good way to get some shards every week. They typically also add in the rebirth crystals as well as a bit of a reward, which are the selector based crystals that they brought out in that event, the rebirth event a while ago, which also brings me on to my next thing, which you're going to be doing out of game, which is the summoner market. For people that don't know, is basically your unit store, but off of the app. Bit of ball knowledge, when you're buying things through the app store, you're buying things like making purchases through the app directly on an Apple device or on a Samsung device or whoever owns that online store. So like Apple owns the App Store and Google owns the Google Play Store. They take a cut of the purchase. So if I was to buy this package here for $100, probably a few of those dollars would go to Apple. Kabam, as being a company, they want to make as much money as possible. So a while ago, it was a couple of years ago, I think it all started based on Fortnite. That Fortnite was annoyed with their mobile game that Apple and other companies were taking a cut of their purchases. So they took them to court and they ended up winning. And so now the companies are required to allow shops and stores off of the actual app themselves. So the summoner market is basically your Kabam version of that. It's where you can buy all of these MCOC things, but directly from Kabam so that Apple doesn't have to take a cut of it. It means that they also give you a bit more for your money. They might give you, rather than 15 crystals, you could get 16 crystals. And part of what they do is they add in your free daily crystal every day and your weekly rebirth crystal every week. So the daily crystals are going to be based on your progression. I guess they put them there because they no longer include them in the game. It's not on the timer anymore, and it's not included in the super daily event. So that's your only way to get daily crystals now in game. Daily crystals, especially with the higher progressions, give you a lot of good stuff. So it's definitely worth claiming that too, considering it is just free. You just go onto the summoner market, claim your stuff, get out. There's no cost required. All you have to do is log into your Kabam account, similar to what the Twitch drops are like. Now, everything else that I'm going to be talking about is actually in-game and is about playing the game. But if you are not trying to sink hours and hours into the game, and this is a game that you can sink endless hours into for minor bump ups in what you've actually got on your account. The first thing though that I want to go over is the Super Daily event. The Super Daily event is a big addition for rewards in game. It is progression based again. I'm on the Elder progression, so these are Elder rewards. Not much changed from Valiant to Elder though, except for the addition of the empowered crystal and the selector changed slightly. The main thing you're going to be getting from this event is your units, which is great. That's always got a pretty stable value. And then also your selectors. So these selectors, you get to choose every day when you complete the event between Titan Shards, Tier 7 Basic, Tier 5 Alpha, and 7-star SIGs. Again, this is the Elder version. The Valiant version is a bit less of everything, and you don't get the choice of Tier 5 Alpha fragments. It's a pretty small amount. It's 1% on this, so you're not missing out too much. Obviously, you always want to be pushing to the highest progression you possibly can in the game, because that's when you're going to be getting the most rewards. You know, if you have to push now to get Elder, or you have to push now to get Valiant or something, it's worth doing, because if you waited a month, then that month you could have been earning those higher progression rewards the entire time as well. All you have to do to farm these rewards every day is 30 fights. That's all you've got to do. 30 fights, depending on what you're doing, could be time consuming. It could take you a while. It could be a few quests, but with the current daily quests as well, you can just auto fight it. The weekly supply run, which rotates every day, except for on the end of the week. So for my time zone, it's tomorrow, which is Monday. For other time zones, it's Sunday. The weekly supply run runs every day for 6 days of the week. And then the supply strike happens once a week on Sunday or Monday, depending on the time zone. For Paragon and above, you also get a bunch of rewards from there, namely the units and the catalysts are probably the most important part. And then the other part of the daily quest that I think a lot of people are neglecting is the catalyst harvest. As I said, in the daily super event, you only have to do 30 fights. If you auto fight the supply run, the top 3, the harvest 3, harvest 4, and harvest 5 sections, and the daily essentials, you will get a bunch of rewards. You will also complete your 30 fights just off of the auto fighting, and it's all easy enough content that a low rank, like rank 1 or 2 7-star, can just auto fight it. You can just leave it sitting there. All you've got to do is select the new quest and it'll do it itself. The supply run is super easy to do. Like if you are focusing on the game, you could get it done even quicker, but obviously auto fight, you can go and do whatever you want while it's going through. You could be at work, you could be on your lunch break, you could be at school. Don't use your phone in class, but you could be at school. You could be having your breakfast in the morning. You could be watching TV, literally anything. You could even watch the Twitch live streams in the corner of the screen whilst auto-fighting your quests as well, if you want to double up on stuff. It's very, very easy. You can go make a coffee at the time. You can come back and it'll be done. Oh. Would you look at that? Done. And now, for doing literally nothing with my time, I have earned 15 units and 1,000 7-star shards. And I've ticked off fights to do in the Super Daily event. And double up, Twitch prize is in as well. So just based off of that, literally just having my phone sitting there, letting the game play itself, I have earned all of these rewards as well. You can see from the Twitch drops, there's another 4,000 Titan shards. Now, I know that a lot of people are sort of sleeping on these daily catalyst harvest quests now too, just because based off of, sure, one quest, the rewards seem a bit weak. You've got a quarter of a tier 6 basic, quarter of a tier 3 alpha, and some tier 6 CC. So for, you know, actively playing the game and actively doing this quest and actually completing the fights yourself, yes, does seem tedious for the amount of rewards you're getting. But when you're doing it purely just auto fighting to get these rewards, to then complete the Super Daily event, you're not having to actively participate in the game, you're not having to focus on anything, you can just leave your phone running there whilst you're also watching the Twitch live streams to get those rewards too. It really adds up. Like over a monthly period or a yearly period, which I'll go over later in the video, you can get a ton of rewards based off of this for very, very little participation. The lower reward quests, I know probably a lot of people aren't completing. I do these every day just because the value that you're now getting from these lower catalysts as well, like tier 4 basics, it might seem irrelevant to bigger accounts. Like to an elder account, what's the point in a tier 4 basic? That's not going to let me get through quests faster. It's not going to help me rank up my champions. But now with the addition of collectives, getting those captains up to a high rank is really important. I mean, you can see in, for example, Cosmic, one of my strongest collectives, but I've still got a ton of champions. Like Airwalker is not a 7-star at the moment. It's going to take me nearly 20 tier 4 basics to rank this guy up to rank 4. Same with Black Bolt, there's like another near 20 of them. Same with Captain Marvel. There's all of these champions who haven't been added as 7-star champions yet that you will need these lower rank catalysts for, and they're there, free for you, that you can just grab while you're just completing another event and not even playing the game. Now, the other thing that I'm going to go over is going to be controversial. It is Arena. So Arena is probably the most time consuming part of the game. So you're probably asking, how is that a time saving thing to do? But it's about how you're using your time. In Arena right now, you've got basically your 3 main arenas. You've got your Summoner Trials, which is limited to 1 through 4-star champions. You've got your featured arena, arena to get the 6-star champion, which is 4 to 7 stars, and you've got your arena to get the 3 to 6 star basic champion as well, which is the 4 to 7 star champions to use as well. If you want to sink all your time into it, then you can. You'll get a lot more rewards. You'll get a bunch of units and a bunch of battle chips that'll turn into more units. And this is the way that you pretty much have to play the game if you want to be free to play. However, for people that don't want to spend all of their time in the game and still want to get a decent amount of rewards from it, you can get that from the first few milestones. For each arena, if you do 6 rounds of the Summoner Trials, you do 6 arena matchups, you go in with 3 champions, you complete that. You could do that over the 3-day period of an arena being open. You could just do 2 rounds a day. If you go in with rank 5, 4 stars, 2 rounds a day, you do 6 fights a day and leave, you will get the first 3 milestones. Now, that might not seem like much, but over a monthly period, over a yearly period, getting 39 units for doing 6 fights a day is pretty substantial. Like over a week, you're pushing close to 80 units a week just off of this arena. In the 6-star featured arena, you will also hit the first 2 milestones based off of doing 6 rounds. So your 6 fights a day, you're going to hit 15 units off of that and a bunch more battle chips. Off of the 6-star basic arena, you're going to hit also the first 3 milestones. So you're going to get another 30 units and a bunch more battle chips too. And over a weekly period, a monthly period, an annual period, you're going to get a bunch of rewards for very minimal effort. Say if you don't have time for, letting your phone run on auto fighting, you just want to quickly get your fights done through arena, you can do that. You can do it all on one day. You can do 18 fights in a day and then put it aside, whatever you decide to do. So what does that look like in the long term? If you claim your Twitch drops, claim your daily crystals and your rebirth crystals from the Summoner Market, if you do your super daily event every day, you do your daily quests auto fighting throughout the week as well. If you do your arena fights, just 6 rounds in each arena, each cycle. If you complete all of those things, the Twitch drops and the Summoner Market rewards, like the daily crystal rewards, are very hard to calculate because it's up to chance. It's a rate based on that. So I'm not going to be including that because we also don't know what they're going to be doing with Twitch drops. They could change the rewards any day. But for just completing your daily quests, your daily super event, and your arena every week, monthly, you're going to earn over 16,000 7-star shards. You're going to get a tier 4 alpha, 24 tier 6 basic, 24 tier 3 alpha. You're going to get 2,300 units and 28 million gold, as well as if you're Elder in the Super Daily event, you're also going to get an additional 30 empowered crystals. For just auto fighting and doing 6 rounds of each arena, that's pretty good. Like for very, very minimal work, that's really, really good. Over a year, that's 195,000 7-star shards, 13 tier 4 alpha, 286 of each tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha, and 28,000 units. I had to check that to make sure I wasn't misreading that. 28,000 units. That's nearly 100 banquet crystals. If you were to save that for banquet, that could be like an account changing amount of rewards at the end of the year, or if you spend them on the right event. As well as, if you need this much gold, you're going to get 337 and a bit million gold to use. As well as, again, if you're Elder, 365 empowered crystals through the Super Daily event. I guess alongside all of this stuff, like you are going to get obviously a bunch of the lower rank rewards to be able to rank up your lower level collective captains. You're going to get a bunch of XP through the daily events as well. Now I do just need to disclose for the arenas, as a bit of a baseline, obviously I've got higher ranked champions, but recognizing not a lot of people have as many high ranked champions as I do. So for the Summoner Trials, for this information to determine that you can get it all within 6 rounds, I used maxed out 4-star champions. So that is rank 5 ascended. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think most people are going to have 6 rank 5 ascended 4 stars. I think that's quite reasonable to expect that most people will have that. And then for the 6-star featured arenas, I used 7-star rank 3 champions, unascended. So for most people, I would say rank 3 7 stars, whilst it seems like still quite a high rank, I think a lot of people are going to have at least 6 7-star rank 3 champions. Obviously, if you have lower rank champions, this can still apply to you. It just might take you an extra round or 2 to get all of this done as well. I mean, you can do this with 6 stars, you can do it with lower ranks as well, but I wanted to bring it down a little bit just so it wouldn't be, you need 5 rank 5 champions to get this done. And the auto fighting is all just rank 1 7 stars. I think but almost everyone has that with the amount of ones they've been handing out recently too. A crazy amount of rewards for a very little amount of time. I think this is stuff that everyone should be doing. I think that it's stuff that is very, very easy to do. It's something you can just leave to do itself. Say if you're doing, letting it auto fight stuff for 45 minutes a day. Even if you just play a Twitch live stream on your phone at the same time as it's auto fighting, you're gonna hit those 4-hour marks each week as well for the Twitch rewards too. You're gonna get Titan shards and 7-star shards and awakening gems. All of this stuff will just flow in for very, very minimal extra work. And I think that's something that really helps people to not get burnt out too, because burning out in this game is very, very easy. It's a game that is very demanding of time. It takes a lot of time of playing the game to keep up with the higher accounts without spending a lot of money as well. So having techniques and methods to get a bunch of rewards without going too crazy in how demanding this game is, I think helps a lot of people to not get burnt out entirely too. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you learned something about how to maximize your rewards and minimize the time you've had to spend on the monotonous side of this game. And if you've got any questions, leave it in the comments below. I'll reply to every comment and let me know what you want to see next time. Until then, I'll catch you next time. See ya.